Hi YouTube, it's Janelle here, and in this video I am literally so hyped to share that I've actually been featured in a documentary. So I'm going to be showing some of the clips from the documentary, but I also want to start by just letting you guys know why this is such a big deal to me, and to everybody that has been following my channel so far, why this is actually more than just like a regular feature. The work that I've been doing, a lot of you that have been following me for a few years know that this is not just like a side hustle. Like, it started off as just a hobby and something that I was just doing on the side to to fulfill my passion in teaching personal finance, because I know I needed it really desperately, but I didn't really have anybody in my life that knew it. But once I started posting videos on YouTube and like putting stuff on Instagram and stuff, I realized a lot of people actually want this and value this information, and they just don't really understand it when they go read about it in books and in articles and blogs. It's just like written in a way that's not really understandable. And so a lot of people started asking me to do like financial coaching or to do like video workshops and courses. And I'm like, I could do that. But for me, I really wanted to go bigger, because the problem is systemic. In my opinion, it's like a larger problem. It's not like the type of problem where you could coach 1,000 people and like, yeah, that's great. You have an impact on those particular people's lives. But what about like everybody else that's going to go through the system, go through school, go through life, go through their job, not knowing about money just like you did? So for me, it's like, I didn't really want to just coach 1,000 people or do like go work on Wall Street and go make a lot of money for a certain company. I knew that I wanted to actually have a larger impact. Like, I wanted to change the way that our country teaches students in school so that they could incorporate some of the money management and financial basics that I know I needed and I know most of us need before we turn 18. So when I was posting videos on YouTube, an organization called Next Gen Personal Finance reached out to me. A disclaimer, it's now my full-time job. Like, aside from YouTubing, I do work at this organization, but it's a nonprofit organization, and the work that we do is amazing. Like, we're in schools supporting teachers and providing curriculum, lesson plans, activities, games, projects that the teachers can assign to the students, and it all has to do with money. Personal finance topics like investing, saving, budgeting, checking accounts, banking, thinking about insurance and taxes, thinking about paying for college, and thinking about your career. Like, these are all different units and topics that the curriculum covers. And the most beautiful thing about this is that for a kid like me who went to public school, a lot of times we're not going to get this stuff in public school because the budget just doesn't there's no room for that, right? There's no money in the budget for it. But with this organization, everything is free. Free 99. Schools don't have to pay for it. Teachers don't have to pay for it. Students don't have to pay. Parents don't have to pay. Nobody got to pay. Nothing, because it is provided at all at no cost. And that's the beauty of the organization, I think, is that every kid can get this, because once you start charging money for something, only the people who can afford to pay that will have access to it. And so I really felt passionate about the organization's mission once I found out about it, and I knew that I wanted to do some work with them. I didn't really think it would lead to a full-time position, and I definitely lucked out, because my passion for teaching, being a teacher in the past, and also my passion for money and personal finance, they kind of like bridged together for this particular job at this organization. A lot of people come on my YouTube channel, they like, oh, this girl knows what she's talking about. She must have studied finance or business. I never took a business class. I never studied finance. And so, to have taught it all to myself, and then to go and try to make a difference in the community and in the education system, is like a really bigger, like a larger mission than a lot of people might think, just based off of my YouTube channel. So that's why I wanted to make sure to share it here, so you guys know that we out here. I'm not just posting cute videos on Instagram and YouTube, but like, I'm really trying to make a larger difference in the country and in our education system, and make sure that your little brothers and sisters, your little cousins, nieces and nephews, grandkids, your kids, all the kids in your community, that when they go to high school, because they're the next generation, we didn't necessarily get to learn this stuff, at large in this country. Most schools don't teach it. And so if the next generation could go to school and actually learn it, how much better off would they be, right? And so that's the goal of the work that we do. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Here's a couple clips of me in the documentary, and then after that, click the link in the description box and the link that pops up here to go check out the documentary on Next Gen Personal Finance's YouTube channel, because it's only about 35 minutes long. It's definitely gonna be worth your time, and you're gonna see way more stories than just mine, of people that are out here doing this work, trying to make a difference, and it'll give you some ideas about how you could get involved too in your own community, in the schools in your neighborhood, and reach out to legislators, write a letter, make a phone call, do whatever you gotta do to make sure that the high school that your kids and that your little brothers and sisters and your kids in your community are going to go to actually will teach them about money management skills. So that's all I got. Check out this clip. Personal finance is something that I came into just from like making a lot of mistakes, and so I learned it myself and then decided to start teaching it back to other people because it's something that I think is missing a lot in like the educational space. One of the things that I love about this is that the students, their backgrounds really are similar to mine in a lot of ways. My parents immigrated to New York City in like the 70s and late 70s, early 80s, and they didn't know anybody. Dad pretty much just worked like unforgiving jobs, worked his way all the way for a few years to bring my mom over and to bring the rest of the family. So later when I got in the process of applying to college, my parents were like, you're gonna have to talk to your teachers and try to figure it out because we literally just don't have any money to contribute to this. When I was in school, I had to buy my textbooks, I had to buy everything for my dorm room myself, I had to, my food, clothes, anything was coming out of my pocket. I had amassed $20,000 of credit card debt, and I put all of the money that I could every month from my paycheck directly towards that credit card debt. It took me about 18 months to pay it all off. Hello, everybody. Hi. My family was actually a big reason why I started nerding out around like money topics. Like I was reading all the personal finance books and like following all the blogs and listening to the podcasts that all the financial experts had. And I was learning so much so quickly that I was like, I want to share it with everybody, and especially like my family. Yeah. So you're vegetarian now too? Sort of. My parents slowly saw my interest in personal finance growing. It piqued their curiosity to learn about like how I handle my money. Like I'll start talking to my dad about how stocks work, and he's all interested in that. And like he's never had anybody talk to him about the stock market in his entire life. Being a low-income Hispanic girl from Brooklyn, New York, you don't really often see that story told in the personal finance space. I felt like this is the perfect opportunity for me to disrupt this space and say, hey, there are other stories, there are other faces, there are other voices. Hi, I'm Yaneli, also known as MissBeHelpful. You want to start investing in the stock market as young as you possibly can. I post videos on my YouTube channel about money, but in a fresh way. I try to just make it sound like conversational. Like if I was at a cafe having a cup of tea with my girlfriend, how would I explain to her that she should be contributing to her employer-sponsored retirement plan without using all those like words? What we do is we provide the material. Then people started asking me to teach what I was posting on videos on YouTube in person. And then we're gonna jump into debt. That is just a sneak peek of the documentary. There's so many more stories. There's so many more teachers and students and legislators and politicians and administrators, principals, all of these people that are involved in this fight and trying to push forth personal finance education in schools across the country. So that was just a little taste of it, my little bit. But please, 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 if you haven't already, click that link in the description box, click on the link above here. Make sure that you go check out that documentary, comment on that video, let people know what you think, let us know what you think, and like really just to put it out there, really become an advocate and push, because we need a whole movement of people trying to fight for this in schools. You know as well as I do that if you had been taught about money in schools, you would be better off, your friends would be better off, your coworkers would be better off, our whole country would be better off if we all had a better understanding of credit and banking and investments and all of these things that we need to encounter whether we like it or not when we become adults. And if we were better prepared for it, we would be so much better off. So hopefully this documentary is a little inspiring for you. Hopefully it gets you to open your eyes to this issue and see what you might be able to do to get involved in it. And definitely let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. I'm so hyped that I'm featured in it. I'm honored to be in it, honestly, and my family to be featured is such a big deal to me because like I'm just a regular girl and my story gets to be highlighted, which is beautiful and amazing. And then, aside from that, just thank you to everybody for continuing to support the channel. We recently hit 40,000 subscribers here on MissBeHelpful. So Team Be Helpful is rolling deep. Thank you so much for the support, for the comments, for the likes, for sharing my videos, for subscribing. I mean, it really means so much to me because this is a lot more than just a YouTube channel for me. It's a movement. So thank you. And that's all I have for you guys. Till next time, peace.